Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV begins right now. Great to be with you. Hope you're well. Start it off right and say thanks to our friends at Register Sausage. Yay, sausage! Fire away.
Not many promo codes be given away these last couple of weeks, huh?
So for each loss.
They should do that if they keep mounting.
Well, they are mounting.
Yeah. If they lose tomorrow, it's a whole –
Woo!
They're favored by like 10 points in that
They're not
game
losing tomorrow.
without half their team. That's how bad Pitt is.
Well, you're not steering in this road.
Sorry.
Yay,
hey, Registers,
sausage.
let's go, sausage.
Let Corey jump. Let Ira jump.
Man,
you jumped in and screwed it all up.
I was showing Kim the map. Ben sent me that map of all the places you'll be able to buy Register Sausage with this takeover, with the Seminole Headlines takeover. And it's insane, man, how many places in North Florida, Georgia, they're going to be at the Carolinas.
Look how rich we're going to be because of what we've done.
Do we have the before map, like where he was in before Headlines?
I do.
Well, that's what we send to prospective
it's unbelievable.
ad buyers because look what we've done. We made him, I would guess, a billionaire. I don't know the sausage game enough,
he's
but
probably a billionaire.
I assume he's close to a billionaire.
But, and again, the product was great. The product was outstanding.
Sure, but we got it out
Best
there
sausage,
for him.
But we shined a light.
Yeah.
On Register Sausage, but you can order Register Sausage at registermeats.com is the website. We don't have a promo code right now. Haven't won a game in a minute. Maybe there'll be a spring football promo code.
Haven't won a game in a minute.
But if you live in North Florida or Central Florida over to Jacksonville, select locations, and if they don't have it, peaceful protest. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, it's out there. It works. You saw what they did at Publix. We changed the game.
Oh man, he's talking to Piggly Wiggly. He's talking to
Hoggly Woggly.
It is
the Hoggly, the Piggly. We're rolling.
All the sausage purveyors.
All right, well that's good, and we're off and running. Yeah, it does kind of stink to have to start the show with, there was that loss, and since the last time we saw you, there was another loss.
We can just stop talking about basketball. We don't even have to do that. We're getting close to spring football.
Saying this to Ira yesterday,
Super Bowl week.
I was saying this yesterday to Ira, though. It's a testament to how good they've been and for how long they've been that good that we're this disappointed because we're not accustomed to this, man.
Yeah.
It is very strange to be sitting here watching big games. Like last night, Virginia beat Duke. And I picked Virginia plus 12 yesterday at the end of the show. I said, hopefully you all made some money off me yesterday.
Okay.
That was an infuriating loss, by the way.
But
you had Duke minus.
No, I just was cheering against Tony Bennett.
It was a 12-point number though. I had 12. I had that one.
That's a supreme hatred
to
cheer for Duke at Cameron just because you don't like Virginia. I mean, you don't like Tony Bennett.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I was all in.
Okay,
I almost threw my laptop.
That's tough, Ira. Man,
Virginia's weird.
Kim's like, "What's wrong?" I was like,
"Don't worry about it."
Virginia won.
The last several years, Virginia's been weird. They start the season just like middling. They're 4-4 in the ACC, just average. But also each of the last several years, the second half of the season, they've dominated. They've been awesome. They end up in first, second, or third of the damn league. It's crazy.
You're gonna try to tell me that's good coaching.
I'm just gonna tell you that they end up.
It's coincidence if nothing else.
Year in and year
He's
out.
He's a terrible coach in October, apparently.
He just keeps winning when it matters most.
So, but the point Jeff was making, we talked about yesterday on the Jeff Cameron show.
All right.
Was
I don't listen to all those segments that you guys do. Why would I? I mean, I get to do this with you guys 2 hours a day or 2 hours a week. It seems like your segment has gotten much shorter since the move.
I don't think that's true.
Well, the show's condensed too. So I think proportionally it's probably
so it's 33% less
lion's share of the show. It's unbelievable.
I mean, you used to be on for 20 minutes at a time.
I was on video yesterday though.
You were actually
did the StreamYard.
Oh, was it just your picture from 10 years ago?
Yeah.
All right,
what happened was, and I'll tell you the behind the show meeting here's what happened. I said to Tom, I just get this sense that Ira's not on long enough.
Yeah.
What can we do to satiate the Ira content?
Right.
Because we have less show. He's right.
Yeah.
So I can't be giving him all of my show, but I would like more Ira. I'd like the listeners and others to have more Ira. And then
you hear that all the time around town.
And Ira's got a lot of fans.
He does. Yeah. And so we were talking about it, and he said, what if we did video? What if we introduced the video aspect of all this? And we got not only his opinions over the airwaves on the radio, but people who were watching would get to see him as well.
Got to see that yarn.
It would feel like more Ira.
So
that's true.
The point I was making yesterday on the show that I want to revisit it. I want to revise it.
Okay.
Because Jeff was asking how do you even look at this team right now? And my thought was, man, you just focus on 2023 at this point.
Yeah.
And if you're Leonard Hamilton, you're just do everything you can to make sure all these key guys come back next season, that they don't transfer, go to the NBA. But then talking to Ham this morning, man. He's got me revitalized. He's got me
but you
thinking
can't-
that
you can't fall
ACC
back.
tournament,
Oh, come on.
that
man.
ACC tournament, you get back. You might get Anthony Polite back. You might
Okay.
get Naheem McLeod back. You might
But
get.
you weren't crushing with those guys. You were winning more than this, but you weren't blowing people out. You're winning by a point here, 3 points there.
But they're having narrow losses without a bunch of guys. If you get those guys back, everybody other than Malik Osborne, I think maybe possibly could come back.
Yeah.
In this conference,
You never know. Yeah.
let's not give it up yet.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
But that's a month from now. So,
Yeah.
what
In
are
the
we going to do in the
meantime-
meantime?
Play pinochle.
Yeah.
Tally
That's,
who?
that's an old man answer. Good grief.
Have you ever played
Why not
pinochle?
just say die? Play pinochle.
Tally who? So I'm guessing this is a Virginia fan.
Oh,
Has weighed in. And I don't know where he gets this from because it's actually the guy to my right that hates Virginia.
point.
It's not me. I'm pointing at you.
Yeah. You
Hey,
like
let me clarify. I don't hate Virginia.
Yeah, you do.
I hate the fact that Tony Bennett was rude at a press conference. I don't know, 12 years ago.
And he's never forgiven him.
Nope.
Yeah.
My wife is this way. It takes a lot to get it on her bad side, but
What
if
you-
you are, forget it.
You can't get off.
It is over.
Yeah.
It is over. There's no coming back for you. Anyhow, Tally who writes, Jeff, I know you are a UVA basketball hater. I'm not. Now, I hate watching you play because 52-50 can go to hell. But he says, I have a question for you. Does Tony Bennett do more with less and Leonard Hamilton do less with more?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, the opposite is true, my friend.
That's ridiculous.
Nobody
it's
does
not.
more than what Leonard Hamilton
But Tony
has done
doesn't
here.
do less with more.
No, he
like
doesn't.
Tony's a very good coach.
And
as well.
but they've also had great players.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they
that's
had
what I'm saying.
Brogdon
Yeah.
and those guys. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like he's
yeah.
been coaching a bunch of
Yeah,
stiffs
when
out
he
there.
won the championship, he had DeAndre Hunter,
NBA
Foul Guy,
dudes.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome. They're
Yeah.
all in the NBA. That was a good team. The
Yeah.
Diate kid was a big.
And
No,
Kyle Guy Kyle Guy's the perfect representative to me. If you're going to make the case that the Leonard Hamilton does more with less sometimes, Terrence Mann was way lower recruited than Kyle Guy.
Correct.
But he went
he went to the NBA and
Yeah.
he's done well. So people are like, look at all that talent.
Right.
Well, yeah, they developed him pretty amazingly.
Yeah.
There's several guys like that. No. You ought not be able to, with the lack of investment at Florida State, ever win anything in basketball. And yet year in and year out they do. So we're just done there.
they've invested more.
Well,
They need
you
to
couldn't
start-
invest less.
they need to start investing a little NIL. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's going
Florida
to have
State,
to happen.
26th ranked recruiting class,
Yeah.
which it's not terrible. It's between Indiana and maybe Boston College,
You know who's pissed off? in
but
Indiana?
it's a team that usually is in the top 10 recruiting and not or can be and not even with 5 kids, they're 26th.
Yeah, Kyle Guy was the McDonald's All-American. So as an aside,
Yeah. But he did not go in the lottery
no.
like Devin Vassell.
So I would note something here. Indiana's got to be the one that's devastated because you're just talking about where they are in recruiting right
Yeah.
now. Think about IU basketball and what they represented.
How much it means to those people?
Oh, it's everything.
Yeah.
You're stuck out there in the cornfields without a damn thing to do and a
Got
whole
no-
lot of boring. You got nothing to fall
Got nothing
back on.
else. Got nothing else.
You've got nothing
The
else.
Hoosiers VHS doesn't even work anymore.
You've got nothing else going for you if you're in Indiana. In Indiana,
They did
That's-
have that one baseball team with
Kyle Schwarber,
yeah,
That was
yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
hit home runs on the regular against us.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a fun team to watch though. But yeah, that's Florida State. They didn't hit. They had a few big targets that they missed out on in this last recruiting cycle, and you do wonder because usually they got the one right every year. It was Isaac, it was a Beasley, a Bacon.
Yeah,
it
we're
was,
all worried now.
it was
We're
Scotty
in the era
Barnes.
of NIL. We are worried.
There were guys, and then this year, they had 5 guys, and the highest ranked one is 88th, I think, in the country. He still might be awesome. Terrence Mann wasn't ranked, but the top 3 players in the country, according to Rivals, are all going to Duke.
Well, but the thing I would
The
say,
top 3 players in the country are all going to one school.
here's what I would say though, if Leonard Hamilton keeps these guys together,
Yeah.
they're gonna be perfectly fine. They're gonna be as talented as anybody in the country next year. And then going forward, then he's gonna have to hit the portal hard. Like he's been talking more and more. He talked about it this morning on the conference call about going more into the portal. I don't know that can happen this year because of they have so many kids possibly coming back and kids coming in. But I bet you if this team sticks together next year and Cleveland and Butler and all those guys bounce, that's when I think he would go heavy in the portal. And that's how you maybe compete with that challenge. Because right now they're not beating out. I mean, it's just if some of these schools can give a kid $500,000 or $700,000 legally through a NIL deal, Florida State's probably not going to be able to compete in basketball
or football. Oh, this is kind of where we're at these days. This ends up taking over the conversation, no matter what we're talking about, whether it's a player, whether it's a prospective season, whether it's what's fair to anticipate for
what's weird
the
though
next
about
3 years.
this conversation, weirdly, just because it's a Florida State centric show, is that, the last 5 years, clearly Florida State has been closer to a national championship in basketball than football. And it hasn't even really been all that close.
No.
They can compete with the national championship contenders in basketball. They've beaten national champions in basketball. So that's what, like football, we're just, we talked about this on the Sunday Smash. I just want to get them past Wake and Louisville. Just get them up into that.
Why do you got to do this in the
just
first
for now,
segment
the first
of
step.
Seminole Headlines?
So
First one.
So they can't. No, Florida State right now cannot compete with A&M and Alabama and Georgia, but they can compete NIL wise and be better than
Louisville,
almost everybody else in the conference. So do that. Just get ahead of those guys. Push those guys back down where they belong, and then you start attacking the national powers.
It's going to be important, man. It's going to be important because I don't think my sanity can handle this reoccurring.
It's hard, man.
It's really unsettling. It's untenable. It's untenable.
If you could go back and talk to us, I would say when we were complaining about those narrow losses in 14, but we came back from the future, what would you tell yourself or us?
Buckle up.
What
Buckle up,
What would be the
cowboy.
warning, and would we even believe you?
Well, I will say this. Maybe not 14. There were all those close wins. It was ridiculous. But in 2015, I remember getting into an argument with Tom about, and I'm a little worried about where Jimbo's got this headed. And he was like, well, that seems a little soon. And it was a little bit about the culture, a little bit about some things off the field that weren't working.
Quarterbacks.
We had begun to see that.
Got the yellow brick road at practice. Got the
right. There were
Derwin
weird
telling him
things.
to put his heart into the players.
Well, promissory
Well, that was
notes.
16. That was
notes.
16.
That was 16.
That was
But we were headed
That was
towards
for all the
promissory
world to
notes.
see on that great Showtime show.
So all of that was unsettling. All of that was really difficult to obviously to stomach. But I thought we were headed in the wrong direction. I couldn't have known.
You didn't know the direction was like into a pit of fire.
Right. I thought that we were moving in a direction where we would start to seriously question Jimbo. And I remember one of the things that started the argument in 15 was that I said, you watch, every year we get further removed from Jameis, this is going to come up more. And he was like, well, that's ridiculous. He recruited all these other guys and da-da-da. I'm like, I'm just telling you, let's wait and see.
Yeah,
by the way, that's a very loud conversation at A&M and everywhere else these days, right? That short of having a preternaturally great quarterback, what's my man done?
Yeah.
He can recruit
8-9 games.
Yeah. So anyhow, but I thought that's where we were headed. Not you're going to have sub 500 seasons. You're going to get beat routinely by the middling to lesser tier programs.
You're going to question your
ACC.
career choice. Like, do you still want to do this anymore? Ira did that multiple times right beside me this past year.
Not this past season as much as the year before. Well, maybe
Man, I'll tell you what, man,
early last season.
That Louisville game when it was 31-7.
But so I did want to, because I caught some of the Sunday Smash with you guys on.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch it at Warchant TV if you go to YouTube. The topic about somebody brought up Baylor, and I want to discuss this topic of comparing FSU to other programs and other situations. Can we do that in this segment, or do we?
Well, we got to wait till the second segment, but we can gladly do that here because I like to do.
I've got some things I got to get off my chest.
Well, it's annoying. It's annoying because it's not
right.
apples to apples, and it rarely is when people use the example.
Sure.
That one particularly is ridiculous.
All right. Well, we'll get those particulars.
Seems like you just gave the tease away. Like,
well,
people
I think
were like,
we knew where it was.
It
headed.
kind of felt like that, but he gave it away. He could have been like, I wonder if Ira agreed with that take or disagreed. He usually brings up things he agrees with, right? Like, I just wanted to chime in and say how much I agreed with everyone.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. If anything, I feel more calm. I don't feel like I have to run around looking for company, and my people can leave me alone with the couch cushions.
Hey, I can stop anytime I want.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. Tally Spay. For more information and to schedule a same-day surgery and pickup, go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale, The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Keith Lawson Services, Tallahassee Automobile Museum, ABC Flooring, or Krispy Kreme Donuts. The country's best donut place has great different monthly specialty donuts like Ghirardelli, Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and too many more to mention. Sign up online at KrispyKreme.com for exclusive email discounts or download the app that lets you pile up rewards every time you order ahead. Krispy Kreme, America's favorite donut.
Stuck in an expensive timeshare contract and feel like there's no way out?
I'm almost at $10,000 in 4 years. I've never traveled anywhere.
They made this sound that this would be a really good deal, that I could go anywhere, anytime I wanted to. That never worked out.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group. I've helped thousands of people get rid of their timeshares. I know all the tricks because I'm embarrassed to say I once worked in the timeshare industry. We've saved suffering timeshare owners millions in debt and maintenance fees. When you're approved as a client, I guarantee you a 100% success rate. We'll get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off of your back permanently.
I honestly would recommend that you call Wesley Financial. They will help you.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free information kit. If they can't get you out of your timeshare, you'll pay nothing. Call 800-600-9595. 800-600-9595. That's 800-600-9595.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
You've got a floppy hat?
Yeah. I bought it for myself because I knew I'd be out here covering practice, and I got to protect the dome.
You got a little time, man. It's February 8th.
No, I know, but I've already bought it. I've already got it. I just don't know the name of it. I'll wear it next time I'm in here.
You're really pumped about it?
I am. I want to show it off.
You should do like Bowden used to do, and as you're walking off the
Stand
practice
on the
field,
tower?
No, sign it, and as you're walking off the practice field, throw it to the other media,
Throw it to the guy doing
the
guy doing the rickshaw.
The players.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, what is this? Okay.
Like gym dance.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Dance. We didn't even bring that up the other day. Like, didn't we talk about his stupid self-portrait that he has in his house? But the fact that he apparently it was a tradition to the kid he liked best in the Final Four, he would take off his necktie and give it to him as parting gift.
Billis is now giving away his sneakers. It's like, man, I don't want your sneakers.
Well, but he probably only wear them once, right?
Probably, but still, man.
I'd take a sneaker over Jim Nance's necktie.
Either one, dude.
I love that Jim Nance thinks you would want,
or
that anybody would want.
Unbelievable.
It's great. Mark, thank you so much. As always, he writes, Jeff, the JCS golf tournament should be epic. We'll come up from Naples if anybody needs a fourth. Well, come on up, Mark. I'm sure somebody
Are you playing in that? Or are you going to be?
Of course I'm playing.
Okay. Are you?
I think so.
I think I'm going to be like an
observer.
I think I'll be like hang out at like the 12th hole. You know, so don't they do that at these golf tournaments too? Like Jimbo didn't play around. He would sit there at the 12th hole and like take pictures with people.
Jimbo did not do that, but Mike Martin did. I went to an FCA tournament one time where he was at a par 3, and like
he'll hit your shot for you.
Well, one of the things I think it was like he would shoot every group that came, he would shoot it with a foursome.
Oh,
And I think there might have been like if you beat him closer to the pin or whatever.
Right.
Dude, my man was automatic.
Oh,
I
yeah,
bet.
no.
Especially at that course.
In
I
his
bet.
prime, by the
Yeah.
way, he could swing it.
That's why he liked it. It's fun for people that are good at it. That's why they want to do it a lot.
Well, you got to work at it.
Yeah, well, even still. But
You
so
gotta- you
I'll
gotta
be there.
work
I'll be there in some capacity. I'm not
Yeah.
getting there at 8:45 in the morning.
Well, I knew that would be too early for you. That's
but
why we scheduled it when
I
we
feel
did.
like if I get there around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I can at least be in the 19th hole, welcoming people as they get off. Ask them how they
Hey
did.
guys, welcome.
You're welcome. Hey,
Good to be
welcome.
here.
Welcome
Oh,
to the
yeah.
night. Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed your round.
that'll be my role probably.
If Mark or James B or Ray Pereira throws some money at you guys on Wake Up,
I should have to play with them.
You'll be playing with them.
Well, I mean, you look. I'll do anything for enough money, and that includes playing golf with people. Sure.
All right, so that'll be fun, and that's April 15th. And thank you for those that mentioned, and Mark mentioned specifically that it will be fun. It's going to be fun. I had it for 14 years.
Yeah, and I never ever got invited. Not once. Not even like as a hey, do you want to just come hang out?
You
with
were
me
never
afterwards?
not invited. I think it was.
Oh, that's
assumed.
great. I was never not invited. That's
Well, the
perfect.
problem is if you invite you or me, then we might have to play with somebody in their foursome, which is going to limit their abilities probably
To have a chance.
to win.
Yeah,
said
well,
event.
true.
So that's the downside.
yeah.
But I told Gene if somebody's willing to take me on their team, I will.
Okay.
All right, so you were listening to the Sunday Smash,
Correct.
and it bothered you that somebody compared our football program to Baylor.
Well, just the
compared
question.
Norvell
to
the
Dave
current
Aranda.
coach.
well, basically was if Dave Aranda has already had the success in year 2, can we just say Mike Norvell's been a failure? And I just feel like that is, and the guy who asked the question, we interact sometimes on Twitter. I don't have a problem with him. The comparison stuff just drives me nuts because every situation, like you said, is not apples to apples. And you guys addressed this on the show, but I wanted my chance too. But it's just that it's particularly that one. I mean, Baylor 2 years ago, when Dave Aranda took over, Matt Rule got hired by the NFL because that program was operating at such a high level. It was one of the best teams in the country. And the only down thing they've had since then was they went 1-7 or whatever during the COVID year, which is, I don't know what, I mean, that's more on Dave Aranda than it is on the state of the program, but it was also a bunch of close games. Like I looked at their schedule. They lost a lot of like 1-score games. So whatever happened, they didn't have a good COVID year. They come back last year and have a really good year, but he inherited a program that was in great shape. It was coached by a guy that was maybe one of the best 2 or 3 college coaches in the country who got pursued by the NFL, by a bunch of NFL teams. Florida State, in the position that Mike Norvell inherited, is completely different. And we're at the point now where, to me, I think we should focus on data points. Did Mike Norvell assemble a good staff? We can discuss that. Did he assemble a good off-field staff? 2 years now, we can address those issues. Did he do a good job with personnel? Has he brought in the right players? Is he evaluating well with the young players? Like, is it game time decisions, game day decisions, how he handles losses and wins? Like, those are all things we can evaluate, and we should evaluate those, and they're not all positive. There's been mistakes. He's made missteps. But the comparison stuff, we can move on. There's no relevance to that.
I agree with you, but I also think fewer and fewer people are doing it. It's usually just a kind of a lazily suggested thing. It's not really.
A lot of people do it.
They do it. I think we become prisoners of the moment because they do it on a message board, or they do it on a show like The Smash, or they do it on a show like Seminole Headlines, and it's a commenter, but it's not really representative of most logical people who've taken a step back and looked at just how far off base Florida State was from where it needed to be, right? Like if you looked at when Norvell came in, you were like, well, good Lord, they have fallen off a cliff these last 3 years. This is problematic. This is going to take a little while to improve. It's going to take a couple of years. And then
to your point, it was sliding from 2014 on.
Yes.
Down, and he got here in 2020.
Right. And then you had the early signing period and COVID the following year. So you're really screwed. And that's why the arguments we were having then were very different than what we're having now. The arguments we were having then was what is reasonable to expect. Like Corey and I disagreed vehemently. And obviously I disagree with Aslan, who thinks every year should be a 10-win season. Where I'm like, look, man, we're not really close to being able to do that. Those players aren't any good. And I was yelling that from the mountaintop, like these players aren't any good. And people shot back. Well, look at the class ranking. Well, how many of those guys are here? And how many of those guys did they work out? And how many of them were signed during the early signing period? Because most of those guys don't work out. And so we were having that discussion. And then we ended up kind of meeting in the middle somewhere along the way. We're kind of like, okay, they could be a little bit better. They certainly shouldn't lose to Jacksonville State.
Right.
No doubt about that. And so we would agree on that. And then we'd say, okay, but they are a ways off from being a 10 or 11 win team. Now, I do think the rubber meets the road this upcoming year. I do think while we can agree that it was a longer rebuild than many of us would have wanted, they have to show real appreciable signs of growth this year. They have to.
That's my problem with the people who are like, well, 6-6 may have to do. I mean, I just don't think that's going to work.
No, unless there's a catastrophic injuries and Rodemaker has to be your quarterback and they're extenuating circumstances. But no, like you've also like, and you guys know how I feel about Jordan Travis. I legitimately think this team might have won 1 or 2 games the last 2 years without him. You put all your eggs in that basket. And that's a big decision for a head coach to do that. Like there were possibilities out there that you probably could have pursued, but you didn't, or it wasn't appealing enough to those quarterbacks to come. And so now it's kind of Jordan Travis or bust. That we all think they're going to get a quarterback in the portal, but it's not going to be somebody that is an All-American candidate. It's not going to be somebody that you probably is going to predict is going to beat out Jordan Travis. It's going to be a depth signing.
Yeah, it's going to be somebody who doesn't have the spring to work through.
So, my point with this whole program right now is, look, I think the defense will be probably
it's not going to be better.
It's not going to be better, but I don't think it's not going to be an embarrassment.
It shouldn't fall.
It shouldn't fall apart.
It should be closer to 2021 than 2020.
Correct. The offense has to get appreciably better. The offense has been bad for 2 straight years. It is not that's one of the reasons he was hired. I mean, he had the number 1, number 2 scoring offense in the country, and it just has not materialized here for a lot of reasons. But man, you better start scoring some points, because if you can average 6 or 7 more points a game, which you have everybody coming back, and you believe in this quarterback, if that happens, then you're probably going to win 8 or 9.
And you bring in a bunch of transfers.
You got a bunch of transfers, so that has to happen. The offense has to get better, and that goes back really to the quarterback conversation. You believe in this dude, and I think when he's healthy, he's proven he's easy to believe in. But man, that's tenuous. That's tenuous with where the quarterback depth chart is right now. And it's the most important position in sports. Man, if he stays healthy and has a special year or a really good year, you have a really good year. If he's average, if he doesn't get any better than what he's been, which is a goodish quarterback in college football, but he wasn't one of the top 3 in the ACC.
But by the far the best option you had.
Absolutely. Right. But that's a big decision that's been made about Jordan Travis, and I hope he lives up to the belief that this coaching staff has shown in him.
Well, I hope he does too, because I don't have the same belief you do, for example, in him, but I am rooting for him, and I agree with Ira. It's the best option you had.
Yeah.
Now, he could have done something about that along the way, and that's to your point, which is he's decided not to. He's all in on him. He better play well. Offensive line will be the best it's been since he's been here. They went out and got weapons on the receiving core. If it's not appreciably better, as I just alluded to, then that's on Mike. And
based on what we saw in the last 6-7 games last season, I feel like with a better offensive line and better receiver play, Jordan Travis is going to be good enough to get you to where you need to be on offense this year.
And if he could take a leap, like his progression's been like this. So if it doesn't level off, for the folks listening on the podcast, what I did with my arm was I went up at an angle, about a 45-degree angle.
And then you evened it out.
And then I kind of evened it out, plateaued
You're saying
a little
he
bit.
can't do that. You need him to keep doing
You want him to keep climbing. If he
which,
plateaus,
again, nobody can see as they're driving down the road.
Right, exactly.
He needs to be upwardly mobile.
You want one of us to commentate is what you're doing?
Yeah. So here we go.
He's got to be coming up.
Taking off.
But he can't do that.
He's raising at about a 45-degree angle.
Now, God forbid, if you go back to the starting line, he starts doing that. What am I doing here?
What are we?
Going
down.
We're going down.
Crash landing.
Plane is into the side of the mountain at that point.
Or the bottom of the mountain with the way that thing's going.
It was steep, wasn't it?
So I if he can continue to improve and become, because he was good for Florida State, but was he a good ACC quarterback? I think there were stretches where he was really good, but he still has some learning to do, some work to do. But he's got 15 starts now in him. You like what he is. I believe in the guy. I really do. I believe that he showed what he could be. I think that Miami game was huge. I think they win that Florida game if he doesn't get knocked out, but he got knocked out, and that happens. And you now have a depth chart where if that happens again,
you're done.
What are you doing?
Well, I would argue that the games where he did not play well, it was because of and I'm not saying it was all on them, but it was partly on him, but mostly on the games where they got dominated up front.
Yeah.
And the receivers couldn't go big plays.
But I don't even remember a game.
Those areas should be improved this year.
What was a game other than Clemson? What was a game he didn't play poorly? I don't know that he had one. You could say Notre Dame, but he put up 28 in that game and was dry, had him in the midfield again. And Kyle Hamilton's a freak. Like, he had 2 crazy interceptions that no other safety in the country has. He didn't play great.
It was mostly the stuff. It was mostly the stuff in the first half of the season where they were mixing him in with McKenzie, and it was just he wasn't in a good frame of mind. You could tell he knew that everybody wanted McKenzie to play, and I think that affected his ability to play.
Well, we don't have to relitigate last year because we could go game by game. I thought he had great moments. I thought he had some really sour moments, and I thought he was middling by and large. So now he's got the opportunity, and we're all rooting for that. I know that both as a fan, I'm rooting for that, and then collectively we at warchant.com and on the Jeff Cameron Show would like to see this work.
The one thing I would say, though, about the quarter, as we judge that quarterback decision, we'll be talking about this topic now for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 more months probably.
Maybe 20 more months.
But it's not like they could have just added somebody and that would have been the end of the situation. It's not like they could have gone out and gotten Brad Johnson's kid or whoever, and then it's just an addition. Like there's a decent chance Jordan might have bounced.
Yeah.
Because you're telling him 2 years in a row now you don't believe in him.
Well, that's the decision that would have been made.
Yeah, that's the decision they would have
made. So now
made.
you probably have to bring in another backup too, because if Jordan bounces, you can't just have Tate as your backup. And AJ, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there's repercussions. It's not like, to me, it was a complicated decision. They're riding with Jordan, but it's not as if they could have just picked somebody else to come in and you would have had both of them.
I think you have to gauge the situation. Like, were you going to go all in on recruiting over Jordan and try to bring in two guys, try to bring in a stud and somebody else?
And you're just cutting bait with Jordan.
Moving on.
Right.
Or it was, okay, listen, Jordan's not ideal, but he's the best we got, and he is getting better. Can I find somebody that's a viable backup without pissing him off? And at the same time, do I really need to be worried about pissing him off? Well, I guess I do, because if he transfers, then we're in real trouble here. So, yeah, you would have had to go all in on recruiting over him. And you don't know who would have been, amenable to that. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Florida State is the destination it once was. So a lot of the upper end guys that you would have clearly said, I'll take over Jordan, those guys are looking at schools that are kicking ass.
Yeah, I don't
They're
think
looking at us.
I don't think they said no to Caleb Williams.
Right. Yeah,
because of
that would have been
Travis.
a mistake.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
News now.
The Marietta Police Department arrested a man in connection to a robbery at the Tom Thumb supermarket on Sunday. MPD received a call after 4 a.m. concerning a masked suspect robbing the grocery store on Jefferson Street. When MPD got to the robbery location, they viewed the video surveillance of the robbery and discovered a man dressed in all black entering the store with a handgun demanding money. A check of the area by canine tracking teams revealed a track to a neighboring parking area, which was thought to be where the suspect's vehicle was parked prior to the robbery. Investigators were able to identify and arrest 28-year-old Sammy Gadd as the suspect. A Jefferson County school is in mourning after announcing a senior student, Dakota Hagan, from Marcella Christian Academy, passed away over the weekend. He played basketball, football, and baseball for the Warriors. The school said that Hagan died from natural causes. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Highs level off around 57 this afternoon. Under cloudy skies, winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows around 36. Bright sunshine expected again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 63. Upper 60s Thursday and Friday. To recap, high of 57 this afternoon. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 50.
Tallulah CBD and Juice Bar on Market Street and in Bannerman Crossings has all your Valentine's Day flowers and chocolates. But I'm not talking about red roses in heart-shaped boxes. Shop for the newest Delta 8 vape and flower products, plus Delta 8 chocolates for just $3.99. CBD massage oils, CBD bath bombs, and a selection of enhancing products to really feel the love this Valentine's Day. Come see the ladies at Tallulah for everything you need to love your Valentine.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
A woman only identified as Mrs. Wong posted on Chinese social media she had gotten locked down after a first blind date. She discovered that their date's community had gone into swift lockdown after visiting his house for a meal.
This absolutely has to become a romantic comedy. Lockdown Love. He was looking for Mrs. Right, but he found Mrs. Wong.
Lockdown, starring Matthew McConaughey. All right.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
No matter what happens with this upcoming football season, at least I know in spring you'll have a new floppy hat.
Yeah, but you guys, man.
I'm going to add to the. Listen, I got to do it too.
Yeah,
ball as it gets, and this guy's catching us.
we're
catching us quick.
I mean, soon
those 7 strands up there are not blocking as much
they're
of the sun as
hanging
they
tough.
used to.
They're like, come on, hold.
Well, the problem with having thinning hair is I can't even like slather it with like sun protection stuff. What am I going to do?
No,
so I got to get a hat
Yeah,
too.
you're right. Yeah, you're going to wear a hat.
You carry a hat well, so do I. This guy struggles with hats.
But the floppy hat
That's
may
the
be
bottom
different.
line, and you've admitted that. It's not a knock.
I didn't struggle with it when I had hair, but the bald.
Why is it?
I don't know. It screws the way I wear a hat. I don't know.
Yeah,
it shouldn't.
It looks like you've never worn a hat.
I know. I used to
When you put
love
a hat
hats.
on. I'm like, I don't think he's ever put a hat on
That's
before. I should tell
unfamiliar
him.
territory.
I don't know what to say because I don't want to embarrass him. We're out here now, standing on the sidelines, but that hat's kind of half cocked.
Well, wait till you see that floppy.
It's
Well,
going
the
to be
floppy's going to work.
It's game changer.
I think the floppy does work.
Yeah.
I've thought about a floppy before, but I think it's hard to pull off a floppy here because of Bobby.
How about a cowboy hat?
Ooh, 10-gallon
Like a
hat,
Stetson?
10-gallon hat.
Yeah.
Now that
would
imagine
be
your
funny.
boy rolling out to practice in a 10-gallon hat every day.
Norvell's from Texas. He might
you'd have
like
to
it.
do it every day. Like at first it'd be funny. We'd all be yucking it up, but then the next day there you are standing there in jeans, your 10-gallon hat. Like it's an all new.
Can you imagine how hot it is under that
Before
thing?
you ask a question, you like.
I doff it. I don't take it off. I just
Coach Norvell.
Corey Clark.
Every time a woman out there, ma'am,
yeah.
ma'am, just keep doing
You
that.
could fake a Southern accent. You could start pulling it off, like our boy Brian Kelly.
Oh
like
yeah.
If you start doing that and you stay in character,
the
you
whole
have to be
time.
unwaveringly.
Is it the yellow hammer Bama slammer himself?
It would be how great would it be? Coach Norvell.
Coach Norvell.
Corey Clark. Good to see you again, sir.
Warchant.com.
I'm just curious.
He didn't get the guy he dirty danced with.
No, I know. That's too bad for Brian Kelly.
Oh, wow. So he danced. And,
that's weird that kid chose to go elsewhere.
Can't believe it.
That was crazy.
He found it a little awkward.
He's like, I don't know if I want my coach doing this.
That's one thing I will give Norvell. We haven't seen that. We have not seen.
Not to that degree. No way.
And Mike, if you're listening, please
don't do it.
Don't do it, man. Keep your dignity, even if you lose your job.
Here's the thing. For all we know, Norvell is an incredible dancer. I mean, he was a college athlete, right?
Yeah,
he might be a good dancer. So if he makes, he
had cornrows.
So
but he doesn't strike me as a guy who wants to dance.
But
sometimes.
if he did like a mock-up of what Brian Kelly did, like started off
Now, that would
behind
be
the guy
funny.
and then pushed him off and just did his own solo
thing.
dance,
Yeah.
I think people would enjoy that and that would be funny. But to do what Brian Kelly does is awkward and awful and not funny. Well, funny and laughing at you sort of.
We're
but
mocking
if
him,
Norvell was
not
in on the
him.
joke, I think people would like that.
Jimbo's dance. He just comes in with just bags of cash, and then they
Throws
just
up there.
the NIL dance.
Yeah, it's
actually would be funny. That would be him
that would,
embracing the moment.
if he did the
like
indecent proposal.
or when they do the
he
thing
lays
where
in the
they'll-
bed with the recruit and they just pour cash on each other.
With a recruit.
Well, that's the
I'd like
movie.
him to be in the wind tunnel where the cash.
Oh, there you
is
go.
everywhere,
They're all
and the two of
catching
them
it
are
together.
together. Yeah, they're all just catching the cash. Then he can smile and point at the camera. How good would that be? Actually,
But the wind tunnel is just one of those big PGA Tour checks with $1 million written on it, and they
It's
just
bounce
grab
around,
it.
they can tackle it, then they both revel in it.
Yeah.
Joel, thank you so much. Good Lord, Joel, that is way
Man,
too kind.
Joel Davis is coming correct.
Joel's had a good month.
JD.
If Mike Norvell can put up 30 points a game with limited O-line, wide receiver, and quarterback play, just imagine what he's going to be able to do with the right guys.
It's
All right?
time to get the right guys here.
Well, yeah,
bro. that's what we want.
I don't want to keep imagining. I don't want to have to continue to wonder and fantasize about what that would look like. I want to see it. I want it to be.
We feel like they're heading in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
With this portal haul.
Not perfect guys right now, but good enough.
but
Good,
better.
better guys. Yes.
Well, I know they've got a better receiver right off the bat. The kid from West Virginia is a
Yes.
bona fide wide receiver.
Yeah.
He has done it at the Power 5 level. He's been productive. There's no reason for him not to come in here and be much better. That would reflect poorly on Mike. It would reflect poorly on Jordan Travis. It would reflect poorly on this offense if he's not even close to as productive as he's been.
And I think Pittman and Wilson have a really good chance as well. Span to me is the most wild card of the wild card. I think the other two, Wilson's not hurt. I think he'll be productive. I think Micah Pittman will definitely be productive.
The Span one is odd. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, hold on.
Oh,
the good news, I'm with you. 5 catches, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But again, the more you read and the more you hear about people's assessment of that kid is that upside, and it is just that upside is really high.
Tall and fast.
Really tall, really fast, and is probably the best athlete of that bunch.
And if you don't get a quarterback transfer.
Nope, he's not a quarterback.
Well, he was a quarterback.
No, but that's
though,
the
right?
whole argument. It's one of the reasons he's not at Illinois.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you at least have.
He's an emergency quarterback.
I was going to say, would you rather, and this is no shot at Tate Rodemaker, but if it comes down to Tate Rodemaker or this kid to run the offense you run with Jordan Travis, would you rather this kid be running a little zone read?
Well, we're pretty well screwed if this is the.
I know. Hey, you're right. You're right. Hey, Joel Davis, though, you're the man. You are the man. Thank you, buddy. That's very, very kind.
Thank you, Joel. I'm really excited. Now, it sounds like we're always dour, like that we're so sour on what this, or at least maybe people think I am. No, I mean, we had fun with the W's and L's the other day, and I went 7-5. That's not to suggest they couldn't go 8-4. I mean, there's a lot of these 50-50 games. They're going to have to.
You're going to branch out even 8-4, huh?
I'm not going 9-3. I don't think they're that. Yeah. But I think they can go 8-4. And
what about 9-4? What about 9 wins if you include a bowl?
And they go 9-4?
That
feel pretty
doable.
good. That would feel like a step forward.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And they need to take the step forward.
Yeah.
And mainly because even if you say, okay, listen, they're not firing Mike after this year, which I don't believe they would, unless it was
unless they lose to Duquesne.
Well, if they're 5-7 or 4-8 or something, maybe they'd have to entertain the idea of doing that. They don't want to have to do that. So he's going to give the benefit of the doubt on any middling season or whatever. But what he would really be doing is screwing himself because he'd be a dead man walking the following year.
Sure.
And I don't want that. I don't want a foregone conclusion. I don't want a year where we're like, okay, we're just playing out the string here, guys. Right. Because if you go 7-5 or 6-6, you're not going to have access to the kinds of kids you need to transform the program where we all want it to be. And so he's got to show any potential big-time recruits that this thing is definitely headed in the right direction. There can be no acquiescing. There can't be anybody going, well, I'm not so sure. This has to be a year where they know, okay, good, he's got it together. Here we go.
What percentage do you guys think that when you're talking about a recruit, like the top 60 player in the country, the 58th player in the country, what percentage of his decision comes down to NIL versus coaching staff, winning season?
Every kid's different, certainly, but I mean,
just on the average.
What NIL?
Yeah,
I don't think if I'm a guy in the top 60 in the country, I don't think I'm taking an NIL deal at a bad school or at a program that's bad. That I'm not going to be seen. I'm going to be on a 2-10 team that's not going anywhere with poor coaching. Like if FAU showed up with $500,000, I don't think kids are interested in
rival
that
site offered you $500,000.
How many years is the contract?
3. Well, you could transfer after a year.
But that's the point, though. It's like their ability to get to the NFL it's helped by being part of a better program.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go.
It's a long-term decision versus a short-term decision, right. I think, in some of those. But I guess my point being,
it's not all NIL.
You go to you can get the NFL through FSU. I mean, it's not like you're choosing FAU over LSU. If you choose FSU over LSU, but we talk about, I just brought it up because Jeff was talking about 6-6, 7-5 isn't going to show these recruits what you're doing. And I'm like, man, I'm not being cynical. I'm not being just the counterpoint guy. I don't know how much that matters anymore. If you are a name program that goes is anywhere from 6-6 to 9-3, you're not 1-11, and you're offering more money than a team that's gone 9-3 3 years in a row, I think that matters.
But I just don't think the difference of what the NIL opportunities are going to be is going to be that wide. If a kid is a kid that Florida State's got a chance to get, and they're going to offer him whatever it is, I don't know that Alabama or LSU is going to offer a guy who's not one of the top 10 players in the country. I don't think they're getting $1 million deals, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be more in line. That's why I don't think is Florida State going to be able to offer what USC and Texas A&M and Texas can offer?
No.
But can they offer what everybody else below them, I think they can get there.
Yeah, I think they're on the
No,
same
they got to
goal.
get that buttoned up.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That has to get buttoned up. The laws have to be in concert with all of this that we're talking about. Obviously, we all know that has to change.
No, it's not like Texas A&M can sign 1,000 kids.
No, right,
They still can only sign 25
No, you're going to
kids.
get So listen, Marvin Jones Jr. We could not get him, unfortunately, even as a legacy, because Georgia and Alabama were willing to do that much more. And at the end of the day, whatever affinity he had for Florida State or the fact that his dad played there wasn't enough to win out. And Florida State's going to lose.
But different kids have different perspectives.
Sure, yeah. But you're going to lose out on those kinds of kids. We're not competing without the frustration. And this is why we get back to the big picture conversation is we're no longer competing with the kinds of players that can be paid off by Georgia and Alabama because we're not in the conversation.
If the Spanx lady got involved, I'm telling you, man, that's a game changer.
Obviously, we've been waiting on that one.
It's been a minute.
Put her in a call, buddy. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Sarah here from Seminole Auto Glass. Remember when you used to get yelled at for riding the braille?
Oh yeah, those bumps on the yellow line. That was before the car techie stuff we have now, like lane keep assist.
You know, when your windshield is replaced, those cameras need to be reset. It's called recalibration. Seminole Auto Glass was the first to offer it here.
Nice, keeping us inside the line instead of riding the line.
And we offer drop-off or mobile service. Plus, we give you a $50 gift card with your windshield through insurance. We're more than just a glass company. We're your local auto glass experts. Better call Seminole.
For about 50 years, Paul's Termite and Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses for thousands of people right here in the Big Bend. And we're quite proud of that. Fact is, all of us here at Paul's have families, and nothing is more important to us than their protection. By providing effective termite and pest treatments, we know we're aiding many right here in our community.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control performs many services designed for the protection of your family and your home. Programs like Pro Shield Complete, which encompasses termite and general pest control in one low-cost quarterly treatment plan. This program is environmentally friendly and is almost exclusively limited to exterior treatments, meaning pests and termites never enter your home. Termite programs like Centricon, a service which requires no invasive drilling or liquid applications. Plus, our lawn care team keeps lawns and ornamentals green and healthy.
Protection of your family, your home, and our environment, all are very important to each of us at Paul's. To learn more about our many programs, please visit us at callpauls.com.
For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all. Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
The Joel Davis Show is back. Thank you, Joel, who has doubled down on the kindness. And for that, we are greatly appreciative. By the way, so I'll answer what he wrote here. He noted that he's no marketing expert, but that you guys could probably raise some serious cash with a meet and greet for all of your fans. Well, we do that. We do that as often as possible. I mean, we're not hard to find. At the beginning of every year, we've done the...
You have a charity golf tournament coming up.
We do, and we've done the Jeff Cameron Show, listener
Bowling
appreciation
tournament?
party. We do the bowling tournament. You and I do a show on Fridays for home games at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
We think we might do one for before the spring game,
yeah.
the Friday before the spring game. That's come out and join us. That's
we did
always
a Seminole
fun.
Headlines get together at Horizons. Anybody could have come out to that. I mean,
Yeah.
we do offer up.
A lot of people did come out to that.
It was
Good
great.
time.
It was great.
We will meet and greet you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're not going to just say,
It's
"Yeah,
not
man, what's
usually
up,"
just
and
a
then
casual,
walk
like,
off.
"Hey, how you doing? Hey, listen, we met."
Yeah,
it's not like that. No,
we'll
there's going to be a little bit of a
We'll
greeting.
ask some questions
Yeah, yeah.
to you, and
Even
vice
if
versa.
Corey doesn't care what your answer is.
My eyes are glazed over as soon as you start
He's
yapping.
like, please don't look at me.
Yeah, please. I want to get out of here.
That's his rule. But,
Not for
I
you,
mean,
Joel
Ira and I-
Davis. Joel Davis, buddy, we'll do a meet and greet just with you. Just tell us where to be. Just tell us where to be, man.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Thanks, JD.
JD, Corey may gaze into your eyes at length with this recent contribution.
I mean, sure. I like to gaze into things, I guess. You guys been watching the Winter Olympics? That's exciting, huh? What a great
Oh, my
it's the
goodness
least
gracious.
watched Olympics I've ever in my lifetime.
The
Like,
Olympics have been trending in that direction for some time, Corey.
I do like I think it's the ski jump, which
I
apparently
watched
is
yeah.
right next to Chernobyl. Like they have a nuclear reactor. It has to be. I don't know what else those pipes would be.
Chernobyl's in China?
Well, it looks like a Chernobyl part. I can't
Are
name
we just
another.
going to walk around mispronouncing Chernobyl?
Chernobyl.
You're just
By the
pissing
way,
me off over and over
great-
again.
that's a great.
It's in China.
It's in China. It's a great HBO show, by the way.
Yes, it is. I've seen
Chernobyl.
it. It's great.
It has to be. I can't name another nuclear reactor. That's 3 Mile,
Mile
Island.
Island,
I guess
yeah.
those
Those are the two.
The ones that work, we never know their
I was
names.
gonna say,
It's
you
like
don't want
long
to know any
snappers.
of the other names.
It's like long snappers. You only know their names when they snap it over the
Yeah,
punter's head.
yeah.
But if we're going to just talk about random Netflix shows, he brought up the Chernobyl one. So Get Back.
HBO, get it right. All right,
Or
HBO.
whatever. Have you watched it all?
I've watched some. not
I've
all.
watched 2 of the 3 episodes. Man, it's kind of like it sent me down like 100 different rabbit holes, which is unfortunate. It's time consuming.
Very time consuming is the
And
problem.
it's taken me on this emotional journey where I've gone from like 1 minute I'm like mad at George Harrison, 1 minute I'm mad
Then
at John
back-
Lennon.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
One
you-
minute I'm mad at
The more you watch, the more you're going to do that, by the way.
and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you
even
know
like
what?
a huge Beatles fan,
Well,
but
let me tell you
it's a
something.
lot.
As a huge Beatles fan, I can tell you one thing that I take away. The reported acrimony during the making of this album is a much to do about nothing. It's not nearly as contentious as all of the periodicals I read through the years.
It's
about the
underlying, and that's and
Yes.
it's actually in one of my rabbit holes. I went and listened to an interview with
the director,
Sean Lennon. I found that.
Yeah, he's
But-
with Barron. You can listen to that. It's really
Oh,
good.
is
yeah,
he really?
Yeah, he
Oh, I
did
haven't seen
WTF.
that.
It's really
But
good.
there's an interview with McCartney, and Lennon's son was saying that he liked watching it because of that. He's like,
Oh, they
as I'm
weren't
watching
nearly
it,
as
it doesn't-
angry as
yeah.
Yeah, and I
it's
heard-
underlying. You can feel it underneath.
Oh, they were ready to be done for a while. They were ready to take a break for a while. But the only thing I'd say is like they made it sound like the Rolling Stone article that came out not long after that, and then subsequent articles over the years.
Well, his interview
added to the legacy of this supposed like cantankerous.
Right.
They can barely get along.
Yeah.
Can't stand looking at each
They
other.
really like playing music together.
I was going to
which
say
is
they
cool to
got
see.
along just fine. I mean, yes, we're going to have creative differences. I want to do this. You want to do that. Well, I'm so-and-so. Well, you're so-and-so. We're going to have this debate. But, I mean, I don't think it was nearly as acrimonious as the
It's
article.
cool though. I don't ever hear. You haven't even gotten there yet because you've only watched 2 parts. But the song "Get Back," which I'm a medium fan of.
Yeah.
I don't ever have to hear that again. I mean, they play that thing 50 times, and not from start to finish, but the
Working
start of
it
it
out.
just
Yeah.
it's like.
But I
oh.
do like to watch.
It's
be a
cool.
fly on a wall and watch how.
But
the
I
song
would have
gets
liked to have
worked
seen
out.
"Let It Be." Like "Let It Be," I'll never get tired of. "Get Back" is like I don't. This is done. Quit playing the song, please.
I can't wait till we get to that part of our career where, like, when the mic goes off, we just sit here and yell at each other,
Yeah.
and just bicker. Like,
Well,
that's how you're
people
gonna
don't
do?
know
You
there
gonna
was
get talking about my floppy hat?
Yeah,
Can we not talk about football?
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Crying out loud.
There's been a couple of transition years that people don't know that we didn't arrive at this greatness yesterday.
Right.
Like it took some time.
Sure.
I remember years ago, I thought it was over, guys. I remember walking out of the studio one day and slamming the door thinking, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't deal with Corey anymore. I can't deal with him.
Corey?
And I texted Ira. I was like, can you talk to him? He's like, listen, everybody cool
Just calm down. Let's take a
Cool.
week off.
Why don't you call him tomorrow night? Tomorrow night should be enough time.
Yeah.
Well,
All
you
right,
had that
that's fair.
transcendental meditation period that you had to go through.
You're always trying to talk to me about it. I said,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care about
And-
your meditation.
Yeah, and the ukulele I wouldn't stop playing in the middle of the show. That was all that stuff mattered. I get it, but still, we made it through, and look where we are now. When we break up, we'll all be millionaires, at least from what we've done here.
Well, that's because we saw it through.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned about your little idiosyncrasies and I forgave them.
Oh, I don't feel you need to forgive me for
You know,
them. They make me who
then
I am.
I get that I have Piccadillys as well.
You
and
do.
Ira has forgiven mine.
Have you?
And
Ira?
we collectively have forgiven Ira for all that he
working through it.
He doesn't forgive easy, as we established earlier in the show. Tony Bennett had one transcript.
That was 7 years ago. That was the Malik Beasley year.
That
was literally the Malik Beasley year. That was 6 years ago.
He's still pissed off about it.
My son just texted me that Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday got traded to the Kings for Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. The best part of that is Brady's currently in English class.
Yeah.
And he's texting me about a trade.
Well, it's right on the front page right there.
Well,
buddy.
no,
I was going to break
I would
in.
like. I guess my point would be maybe focus on English, focus on language arts, buddy. You don't need to text your dad about a trade between the Kings and the Pacers. But hey, he's a sports fan,
especially between the Kings and
That's
the Pacers.
what I'm saying.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Kid's
It's
a little
the
odd.
Kings and the Pacers, everybody. My son will text this to me later.
Great.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not while he's in
Yeah,
class.
in class, yeah.
Because I'm going to get a similar text.
There's the difference.
Well, he told me on Monday, Dad, it's the NBA trade deadline this week. I was like, yeah. And he's like he expected me to say more. And I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, you've lived through 50 of them.
Speaking of the NBA, Corey recapped where all the former FSU guys are playing in the NBA right now and how well they're doing. It is kind of crazy. I mean, Trent Forrest is having a legitimate. He's
a rotation player. And wait till Patrick Williams and Isaac. If Isaac ever plays again,
I don't think he will. But Patrick Williams,
you don't think he'll ever play again?
I think there's problems for Isaac.
Wow.
But Patrick Williams is a big deal. He might get traded too, by the way, this week.
I don't think he will.
I hope he doesn't.
I don't think he does. Hour number 2, headliner questions forthcoming. Stay with.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden is promising swift and severe consequences if Russia invades Ukraine.
As he's been doing for weeks, the president is bluntly warning Russia's Vladimir Putin to keep his tanks and troops out of Ukraine.
I think he has to realize that it would be a gigantic mistake for him to move on Ukraine.
At yesterday's press conference with the German chancellor, the president held out hope for a diplomatic resolution, but said if there's a cross-border attack, Moscow will pay a heavy price.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. Also at townhall.com, Michaela Schifrin is hoping to put her poor start to the Beijing Olympics behind her. That's as she prepares for her second race. Schifrin's next chance to compete for what would be an American record third Alpine gold medal comes up Wednesday in the slalom. In consumer news, Hyundai and Kia telling the owners of nearly 485,000 vehicles in the U.S. to park them outdoors because they can catch fire.
The problem is contamination in the anti-lock brake control module that can cause an electrical short. Those vehicles affected include certain Kia Sportage SUVs from 2014 through 2016 and the 2016 through 2018 K900 sedan. Recalled Hyundais include certain 2016 through 2018 Santa Fe SUVs, as well as 2017 and 2018 Santa Fe Sports.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Dealers will replace the fuse. In addition, Hyundai dealers will inspect the control modules and replace them if needed. Stocks higher in afternoon trading on Wall Street. The Dow ahead 359 points and the NASDAQ up 138. More at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman. And often, this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We or United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be. A boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Warchant TV if you're not already. Share with your friends so others can find it. Helps us do what we do. And we should say our thanks and gratitude towards Dr. Birch Orthodontics.
A ride or die.
Ride or die orthodontist, and somebody that I see frequently, which it's a good thing we get along because I got 2 kids. They're all in the system.
Yeah.
As I call
it's
it.
tough to get out, isn't
you
it?
Can't, once you're in the system, you can't get out.
Yeah,
hey, but you know what you do? You come out and your teeth are straight and you're feeling better that you did it because they're the pros, and the best in the business. I agree.
It really is. And for families that don't, because I was in a family where none of us got braces. Like I didn't get braces. My sister didn't get braces.
It was forbidden.
My brother, we didn't have money.
No chance.
It just seemed like something, rich kids like the Clarks might get.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't something that it was on. And so I didn't really understand how important it was when our kids first started going. And then like once they get done and you see how good they feel about their smile, and I mean, it's the first thing people see. So it is a big deal. And I think, a lot of times we joke around about Dr. Birch and her interest in Florida State athletics and all the other reasons, but really it's a great investment for your family and for your kids to just feel better about themselves. And sometimes there's actual functional purposes as well, with their bite and all of that needs to be fixed as well. But birchorthodontics.com is the website, and they'll set up free consultations. They've got payment plans.
I was about to say, they make it easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it couldn't be easier.
You can navigate it pretty easily.
Tell them we sent you.
Tremendous work.
Tell them Ira sent you.
Blake writes, are you guys able to see any of the off-season conditioning?
Not right now, no. So like last year we didn't get to see really anything of, because I think they were still early in the protocol, like what's safe for media to be around and all that kind of stuff. By the last fall, we were able to watch practices, every practice.
We did get to see a tour of duty. That was
we did 2 years ago before COVID kind of hit.
All right.
So we haven't seen that since 2020. It would be neat to see it now because you feel like it's a lot better. The problem is everybody wants to see the fans want us to have access to tour of duty and those off-season workouts.
And I agree with the fans.
The problem is, and you've been through them at the college level, it isn't exactly glamorous.
It sucks.
Yeah. And
it's boring too.
Well,
to watch.
But so you're going to go out there and see 85 to 100 guys
running
and puking
and
miserable.
And more.
So, you know what I'm saying? So the hope is that he'll let us see one at the end of the fall. That's what at the end of February, that's what Jimbo used to do. That's what Coach Bowden would do. And that's what he did before
the
COVID.
Fruit of our labor.
This is the finished product going into spring football.
I like to get an idea about hip flexion, explosion, that kind of stuff. And you can get that in the tour of duty.
Take a good look at the defensive ends, make sure they can really
I'm looking for twitch.
Oh,
the body lean is big.
Get
off is always important, but the body lean, the body lean is
We're
really
all worried
important
about that.
Yeah.
Nancy writes, North Carolina. Oh man, no.
Come on, let's go.
We could not help ourselves. We're just children. No. Ira looked right over here right when it happened. We were both laughing. North Carolina didn't give Coach K a parting gift, but I didn't hear if FSU did. Jeff, Corey, and Ira, what gift would you choose to give Coach K upon his departure?
Maybe a frame shot of the snare, frame picture of the snare shot with snares.
I like
it.
that one. That's a good one.
That would be funny if because I mean he could take that in the way it's intended. Man, you were the best coach and you had the best program for the last 30 years. But here's our cool moment we had against you. So put that up in your office somewhere.
maybe a court storming pick because he enjoyed those court stormings.
He really did. That was
so much.
Yeah.
So maybe one of those. If you can find one where you can pick him out running towards the exit.
Yeah, with the walk-ons are leading the way like they're the battering rams.
No, remember
for the
time?
players.
And I totally forgot about when and Richie Barnes, an FSU fan, tweeted about it. The time where he left the walk-ons on the court.
That was Roy.
Oh, was that Roy?
He wasn't worried about their safety. It was the starter's safety.
That was the Donkeys game. He's like, Barnes, Kendall Marshall, get off the court. You guys, I don't know your names, Scrappy and Scrappy Doo. Y'all stay here and run out the last 45 seconds.
I would give him a picture of an extended middle finger. I was happy to see Coach K leave. So
yeah, but apparently, I mean, Shire's got the top 3 guys in the country signed to Duke next year.
Imagine
all
that,
3.
Duke
Isn't that
recruiting
weird?
well.
I mean, North Carolina's not doing that. Their transition wasn't seamless.
Gator Kirk writes, good afternoon, gents. If the 3 of you were to open a restaurant, what would be the name and the type of featured food?
It would be called Corey's.
For example, Urban Meyer and Brian Kelly's would be Grinders. And Register Sausage would be featured. Softball starts Friday, guys. Go Noles.
Good.
Yes, it does.
Number 6
Go
in the
Noles.
country
Yep.
softball team.
I'm such an ass when it comes to this because I'm excited for them. They're great. They're going to be great. They have to play Oklahoma out in Oklahoma City when this is all said and done, and that'll be that.
Maybe somebody else will take care of Oklahoma, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do the dirty work. I don't know. I mean, Ira came from a restaurant family, so I feel like he'd run it.
We should make something simple that we can all make. Like if I have to take over the store for the day or the restaurant for the day, I can handle it. So what about like we did muffins?
I mean, I don't
like
want to be
a lot of
muffins.
muffins.
A muffin store.
Well, like blueberry and strawberry muffins, chocolate chip muffins.
I really don't think we need to cook a whole lot. I think it's just the idea is we're going to be there. There's a good chance we're going to be there.
What kind of food are the people coming in to get?
Maybe some, PB&J.
I don't know that's going to get it done.
Some chicken salad.
I was thinking like a Philly cheesesteak type thing. Those seem easy to make, right?
They are easy to make.
So I feel like we could do that.
We could do burgers.
We could do that.
Yeah, just a grill. It's going to be a grill.
It's going to be a grill. A grill.
Yeah.
We're getting to the bottom of this here. It's going to be whatever grill. It's going to be the Seminole Headlines grill.
Not Corey's.
Not Corey's.
Corey's Grill.
No.
Corey's Grill featuring
Well,
Jeff
then you're
and
going to
Ira.
work more to the hours. And we're still going to split the profits.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Can I be the bartender? I feel like I'd be the most affable and best bartender of the bunch.
You might have a better. You might have a better selection than this
I feel
guy.
like I would be the most affable.
All you would do is sit around drinking Mick Ultra.
Well, sure, but so then by 10 o'clock at night, I'm not yelling at customers like you would be.
I'm not yelling at anybody.
I feel like you could. I feel like you have a
hung
10.
out. How many times have we hung out and I've had really rich, beautiful beers and I've not yelled at you? I've not said anything mean to anybody.
I feel like there's always a darkness looming in you. It's just bubbling.
It's just under the
bubbling
surface.
beneath the surface.
You might be right about that, but I don't know that if I were attending bar, that
I would hope
suddenly,
not. I would hope not.
Like I was the Incredible Hulk, and it was going to come out. You know what? That's it, Tom. I've had about enough of this.
Get out.
Yeah.
Do we need a bouncer? Who would? Could we?
By the time we open this restaurant, we're all too old to be bouncers for ourselves, so it's going to have to be somebody else.
Bouncers.
We'll get
NIL deals for football players.
Menelik Watson. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. The NIL for like the 2 fattest lines.
You know, and we could organize it through our friend Keith Cottrell. He could do it. First of all,
he's going to be the bouncer. Yeah, he's in good shape. He's a big dude.
But he also has access to all these guys, right?
Sure.
So we'd have a pipeline of players.
Gator Kirk just came up with a $1
we
million
go.
plan.
All right, Ryan writes, fellas, aside from
and Joel could be our lead investor. Our angel.
Joel is our investor.
All right, Joel, make it happen. Ryan writes, fellas, aside from Corey masquerading as sliced bread, what are
I almost changed my Twitter handle to
The
sliced
sliced
bread.
bread. That would be
so
funny.
good. What are your burner handles on Bro Bible? We're Malcolm Tatum days from softball season. Yay, softball. Thank you, Ryan, as always.
That's an old school reference,
Yeah,
man.
it
That's
is.
really funny. Malcolm Tatum.
Your burner handles on Bro Bible. I have not been to Bro Bible until Jimbo referenced Bro Bible.
Have you since?
I have.
I have not.
I went to
Is
Bro
it for
Bible.
all college football teams?
Yeah, you can watch. There's lots of. It's not just college football. There's a lot of other stuff on there.
the whole thing about that thing
Is him saying sliced bread over and over again is the best.
That's pretty funny. But just the idea that he's so offended by something that is pretty much legal now.
Yeah.
And also possibly true.
And very,
Almost
very
absolutely.
Very,
Some
very
form
likely,
of it is true.
Yeah,
They
very
have
likely true.
They have maybe the best recruiting class of all time.
Yeah.
And more 5-star recruits than like every other conference other than the SEC. And we're supposed to believe it's all because they just like Jimbo and the way he dances, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Miles writes, and he zoomed in a picture of you and Corey next to each other. They're on press row. This was at a game. There you go.
Probably a recent game.
Even circled it in red. I like that.
If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I love that. That cracks me up. Fellas, my only question is, where's the Mick Ultra? Sitting at midcourt in the very top row with an ice-cold Mega Mick. It really sunk in how inferior the ACC is in every aspect. Athletic play, officiating, commentating, TV times and commercials. But hey, at least I can end my suffering with my underwater tactical razor.
Yeah.
Well done, Miles. Well done.
That's true. That's the ACC network. It's one of their fine products that they sell on that wonderful network. Well, I was explaining to the listener, man. Not everybody knows the tactical gear. So
what did Tom get?
The glasses. He got the tag glasses where you can see the eagle.
Has he seen one yet?
At night. You can see him at night.
Has he seen one yet?
Yeah. He says you can. Yeah, it comes with this thing where it's a mirror where they actually, it's amazing. All right, Jason Rice. Do you guys think our 7-footers are actually making other teams shoot better by increasing the arc on their threes? I found an NBA mock draft that has John Butler actually going ahead of Matthew Cleveland, by the way, but both are projected as first-rounders. Hamilton has earned the right to coach as long as he wants, I guess. I'll be very disappointed if we try to push him out the door after a couple of bad seasons. Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to try to push him out the door anytime soon. They've gone to back-to-back Sweet 16s. They've had more than just a modicum of success. They've had a ton of success at a place that I continue to argue really you ought not and likely will not have consistent success for many, many years after he's gone. It's
well, if they do lose Butler in Cleveland, which I really hope they don't.
He may want to retire at that point.
But then he's going to have to go. He really is going to have to go hard in the portal.
I know that Butler is bandied about, but I mean, what is he, 4 years away from being able to play in an NBA basketball game? I mean, that frame.
I don't know if it's 4 years away.
We haven't seen anything
it might
like
be
that.
2 or 3 though.
I mean, Durant's a muscle man compared to Butler.
But also Durant's 7 feet and can do everything that. I mean, come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you want to project him and like, okay, he can't handle the ball. He's a good shooter.
Beautifully.
He's not a Durant shooter, but he could be. But man, he can't.
No.
Every point guard in the league, including maybe even Trae Young, can bully him out of the lane. Like he's just not strong enough to be anywhere.
He's certainly not. Yeah, he's certainly
even a G League. Those 25-year-olds in the G League will be pushing him around. I mean that
I don't think he's going anywhere. By the way,
it would be. I mean, I get it if they draft on potential, but
let me ask you really specifically. You've not heard any word of that.
Just that there's a feeling, and I think as he's talking about these mock drafts, there's a feeling, and just from hearing people
Butler's
talking to
scouts,
really good. That if he did enter his name, like some teams might feel like they have to draft him because they would want him in 2 years.
They know what he's going to. Yeah.
So, but you just you just have to hope.
Now.
Yeah, because I mean, look, both of those guys could end up being top 5 picks. If they stay in college.
Oh, if they stay in college, because neither are close.
No. What I'm saying is, so that would be the
the selling point.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait, man. Have some long-term vision here. Plus, we got this NIL money coming up.
I mean, the difference between these guys and Scotty Barnes and Patrick Williams is those guys were top 5 picks after 1 year.
They had NBA bodies already.
Right.
They were
NBA bodies.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Cleveland's
got an NBA body, just not NBA offense yet. But he's got an NBA body. But
even Cleveland's not even close to the body type that Scotty Barnes was.
No, but he's not.
Scotty Barnes is a freak.
Yeah.
When the first time you ever saw him, when you just look at it, it sounds ridiculous, but we do measure athletes this way. That kind of thickness, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, that was absurd.
It's like the Boncaro kid.
Yeah,
but
who looks like that at 18? Nobody.
But Cleveland is special. I mean, he's.
I don't disagree. Athletically, he is special, but he doesn't look like Scotty Barnes. What's up, partners? Writes Walter. Yippee-ki-yay, Jimbo, if FSU is 7-0 after a win over Clemson at home, do they rank the Noles in the top 20? I think yes, but I have no confidence in folks who do the rankings. Walter, if the Noles are 7-0
with wins over like LSU
and Clemson, yes, they're in the top 10 at that point, I might add.
That'd be at NC State too, would have already happened by then. They'd be the top 8. They'd be talking about them on the
top 5.
They'd be talking about them on the playoff show.
Yeah.
And Game Control will make a return appearance for the first time in 8 years.
But also, the Noles aren't going to be 7.
Probably not going to happen. Yeah,
it'd be nice,
man. If it did, though, if it did, I just want to see it. I want to see what it's like. I'm gonna embrace it so much.
I feel like sort of this is it's a ubiquitous element of the Seminole Headlines show, which is that somewhere along the way, when we turn around a question, we have to ask you whether or not you do an hour number 2. So if they're 7-0,
yeah, sure.
we're going to get an hour number 2.
I mean, yeah, we get an hour number 1, segment number 2.
What if softball sweeps our season opening tournament this weekend?
No, I don't.
That's expected, Ira.
We can't.
That's expected. Lonnie's built that thing to a place. I'm not gonna even entertain that.
We didn't get one for a soccer national title.
No, we didn't. Again, Krikorian's built that thing to a place where it's expected. He blew it. He blew it 5 months earlier, or they would have that'd have been 2 in a calendar year.
It's a little bit like storming the court when you win a big basketball game. I don't disrespect Hamilton like that.
By the way, they haven't won a game since they. Well, no, they did. They beat Miami, but still, that might have angered the basketball gods.
They beat Miami again.
Beat Miami again for ninth straight time.
Mike writes, since Jimbo started the tradition and now that basketball season is pretty much over with turkey season right around the corner, which one of you 3 are planning to go turkey hunting with Coach Norvell? I don't hunt, so that would not be me.
There was we can talk. This is public because it was on our tribal council. When we did the whole Jimbo Chronicles and the one poster, do you remember that story that went turkey hunting with Jimbo?
Sliced bread.
It was sliced bread on the tribal council. Jimbo, look him up. Good dude. Gets most of his facts exactly right. And he talked about the way Jimbo turkey hunted, which I don't know anything about it. Yeah. I don't know about. I guess you call it a gobble or something. Maybe you do that.
You bring Jeff.
You bring Jeff. He's the gobbler, and then you. I guess you.
I'll sit in a stand and do that all day.
You think he would have shot one of us if we were out there with him? Like the
no, I don't
Bobby Knight shot his buddy
I don't
for
think
a turkey.
You don't think he would have shot me?
No.
Did Bobby Knight shoot a buddy?
Yeah, he shot a buddy in the face. Just like the former vice president.
Okay.
Yeah,
they both did.
Oh, all right. Well, so
these guys are
the way the guy talked about it, and I'm completely ignorant on this, so I apologize. You kind of crouch you kind of crouch around trees and
like
kneel down. And he said he looked back and Jimbo was on his stomach, belly crawling. And he said how odd that was. But
like
I might have gotten
Nam?
Yeah, belly crawling through Nam. He had his face painted. So
he was worried about those turkey talons.
So I that's the story I remember, but I don't know anything about turkey hunting, so I don't know if that's
Did he paint his face?
Did Jimbo go?
I assume the guy just said it was and obviously he's a huge booster because he's turkey hunting with the coach. But he said it was something he had never seen before.
Was he the president of a certain bank in town?
Turkey hunting. He might have. He didn't say it.
I didn't know.
Again,
the
things about message boards, Jeff, is they're anonymous. But yes. So anyway, but he didn't care that much about his anonymity, right? Because he posted on a message board about turkey hunting with Jimbo. That's a small pool of people that can do that.
I'm guessing who it is.
But either way, the thought of Jimbo crawling around the woods
about killing some turkeys.
It's just a funny image.
Now can you picture him because he's got not one but 2 ranches, as he pointed out.
He's on his belly the whole time.
Yeah, he's out there belly crawling every which way at night, not even hunting.
With his tack glasses. He can see anything. He can see the eagles.
He's looking at the American flag.
How much do you think Jimbo would pay? How much do you think Jimbo would pay for one of those things where like they release us in the wild and he gets to hunt us?
Oh, like the most dangerous game?
Yeah.
Like would he give $5 million for that?
Man, I don't think Jimbo would want to kill me or want to shoot me.
I think he'd like to kill you.
I think you're the guy.
I don't think he wants to kill me either.
He finds us as like, have you seen Ira? He's not shooting at us.
He might wing you.
Us. Yeah, he's going to wound us.
I think he would hit us with the butt of his gun. That's what I think he'd do. I don't think
we tell him where Ira is.
I think like we would say,
he hog-ties
Ira is just over yonder.
How many times would he have to hit you with the butt of his gun before you ratted me out?
I would say
as soon as he lifted up, I'd be like, he's over the hill.
I would say to him, if he was face painted, I'd say, hey, coach, he's 2 clicks away. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
CBD and Juice Bar on Market Street and in Bannerman Crossings has all your Valentine's Day flowers and chocolates. But I'm not talking about red roses in heart-shaped boxes. Shop for the newest Delta 8 vape and flower products, plus Delta 8 chocolates for just $3.99. CBD massage oils, CBD bath bombs, and a selection of enhancing products to really feel the love this Valentine's Day. Come see the ladies at Tallulah for everything you need to love your Valentine.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. All I know is My family is much happier now that I've been altered. My people even brought Mr. Jingles to Tally Spay.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. How you feeling, Mr. Jingles? Ugh, you're right, it is a lot nicer. Go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
Well, so far this month has already been a long, cold year. But nothing breaks up the cold like a cozy, warm fireplace in your home from Hearth & Patio. You may not know this, but many of today's modern, environmentally friendly indoor fireplace designs offer amazing energy efficiency. And when you get a new fireplace installed by Hearth & Patio, they will also service the equipment to make sure it lasts for years to come. Something else you may not know, Hearth & Patio can also repair your existing fireplace. I'm going to read you a recent review from a real customer. Donna says, our gas fireplace stopped working at a time when we experienced our coldest weather. I called other companies, but the earliest they could send someone out was 10 days. Then I called Hearth & Patio, and they had a technician at my house the next day. He not only was friendly, he fixed the problem and never tried to sell me something I did not need. It was so refreshing. I would not hesitate to call Hearth & Patio again. So the moral of the story is, when you need a fireplace repaired, replaced, or installed, just call Hearth & Patio at 727-4282 or find them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
When you are approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group are here to help you preserve your retirement. The team at Preservation Financial Group can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create a comprehensive income plan designed around your needs. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risk before you retire. To schedule a free, no-obligation consultation, reach out to Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group today. 850-523-6118. That's 850-523-6118. Or visit them online at preservationfinancialgroup.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
All right, I'm actually interested in this next question.
Are these Facebook or Twitter?
So I switched just now from Facebook to Twitter because
it's about to get good.
They were all Facebook that first segment.
We got some good Facebook questions.
We did. Those Facebook questions were outstanding. We've got some more. We don't have a ton, right now, given the time of year.
It's the doldrums.
Yeah, we have it.
Plenty of Twitter.
Bishop writes, with basketball having the ACC Big Ten Challenge and the Alliance coming to football, which conference other than the SEC would you like to see pair off in baseball for a home and home? Oh, buddy. Now, I care about these things because I love the idea of traveling for college baseball games. In fact, I had a conversation with Mike Martin Jr. a year ago, and I don't know what's happened with this, and we need to get back on it if it's going to happen at all. I thought they were going to bring LSU into Pensacola and play in the minor league park up there, and we were going to get an FSU-LSU series.
It's not happening?
I don't know. I mean, I was told that was going to happen at some point, but I'm really excited about something like that. There are a lot of great traditions. I know he doesn't want us to use the SEC. There are a lot of ballparks there that I would like to visit as a college baseball fan. I will point out that it would serve no matter who we pair up with, whether that's the Big 12 or the Pac-12 or whomever it is you'd like to see us pair up with. The sad truth is when you visited those stadiums, they'd all be better than ours. Because that's the plight that we suffer from right now.
I think the answer is the Pac-12.
Well, of course it is, because the Stanford, the Sunken Diamond would be great. Oregon State's got a really, really good team. Arizona's got a top 25 team. Arizona State is traditionally strong.
Wazoo.
UCLA's usually got a good baseball team. They have a preseason top 25 team this year. So I'm with you on that. I would say the Pac-12.
Pretty campuses too.
Great.
Even though like Colorado, Utah, places like that, you'd like to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that we travel for regular season baseball,
but I
series,
want to nominate myself for the Warchant rep to make the travel.
Okay.
To the Pac-12 if we pair.
Okay, all right.
Only you guys get to go if it's some other lesser tier conference.
Can't they? It would be cool if they did like preseason tournaments the way like college basketball now has all these tournaments in Hawaii.
It would be great.
Bring the northern teams down, like do some sort of kind of like a postseason feel,
like an Advocare invitational thing. I mean, I don't know why I said Advocare. I just know they have one in Orlando. Right. So for the basketball, but you're right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know, bring some teams
they do
together.
It for softball,
and it doesn't have to be even like to crown a champion, like where you don't play everybody. Just come down and let's play some teams you don't get to play.
You get 4 games guaranteed against.
Yeah, and I would like the mentality to shift, and I think it will, and I think it has slowly begun to happen for Meat. Look, man, you need to try your team. I mean, your team needs to be challenged early and often. Right. I don't care if your overall record ends up resembling something close to 500.
The 41 thing is not a priority anymore.
It's off the table now.
It made sense to a degree but
no, man, if you can play a series, one-off series with Georgia one year, turn around and play Arizona later in the year or at some point, obviously you already play Florida. Can you start a season where you have a series against Stanford? We used to do that, by the way. But, I mean, I would love that sort of a thing. I mean, just litter your schedule with real tests to find out what guys are.
And see what,
see how they handle that.
Especially the pitchers. Yeah, those guys that the midweek games against UNF or whatever don't tell you as much as they would on the weekend against one of those.
No, and we end up limiting the number of guys for years. But this was my biggest gripe about Mike Martin, who obviously had a ton of success. But, I mean, he would kind of settle in on his guys pretty early in the year. And even when you were afforded opportunities to give a guy a chance in a crucial situation in a midweek, he wouldn't do it. I'm like, man, it doesn't really matter. The result really doesn't matter right now. Just let's find out how this guy handles 2 on, 1 out in the 7th of a tie game. Let's see what this guy does in this situation.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir, Jeff.
Drove me nuts, man. But I'm
all for the tournament. I think at tournaments, you invite 6 teams to Hauser or wherever, go on the road to Orlando or something, to Disney, but have a 6 or 8 team tournament. 12, who cares? Just, yeah,
I would love it. I hope they do it. We've got a question that reads, is 2022 the year the Wolfpack of NC State win the Atlantic? And will they play and defeat the Miami Hurricanes in the ACC championship game, winning the ACC title for the first time since 1979? Boy, there would be a lot on the line if those two teams met. Miami has never
won, and hasn't won since
79.
Jimmy Carter was president.
Right. And since the Pirates won the World Series.
Oh, great year. Yeah. Yeah.
And the Orioles lost it. Sorry, Ira.
Yeah.
It's a softball. 79. I mean, I kind of think NC State could win.
Man,
the Atlantic.
I feel like NC State's one of those teams when they're expected to do well, they always disappoint. And when they're not expected to do well, they can surprise you a little bit. But that's just kind of the MO of that whole athletic program, every sport. So I feel like that's they're going to be a favorite. How are they going to handle that? Not well, I wouldn't imagine. Is just my initial thought.
Unfortunately, I've got to give Dave Doran credit. They've been consistently good for a number of years now, and it doesn't seem right to say it out loud, but he's done a good job. Matt writes, if you could pick any, and I like this question, if you could pick any past Florida State quarterback to be on this team as a starter or backup, excluding the Heisman winners, who would you pick? He says he would go with Christian Ponder. Christian was mobile, certainly, Matt. The problem was he also liked to fumble upon getting hit. That's just my 2 cents.
Also a little injury prone.
Yes. So there are those 2 factors that would have me concerned. I would harken back perhaps to a Dan Kendra and get him moving out.
Okay.
A little Dan Kendra action.
How would he do in today's game?
Big
We don't
burly
know.
dude getting outside the tackles, could run you over, could also talk, he could toss the pigskin a little bit.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. So Dan Kendra might be a good choice. Matt also referenced him and some others. So anybody else there?
I think, man, I really feel like Norvell would click with P.T. Willis. I think there would be just I think that kind of personality would be good in that offense. Plus, he's
an
tough
underrated
guy.
quarterback here.
He's a tough dude. Player. I think he would give some toughness to that team. So yeah, I'm going to go with him.
Probably Exley. I feel like he was never really. He didn't get a chance here with those coaches to unleash what he could be.
I still remember a throw he made in practice that I was at, and I was standing down on the sideline. It's one of the best throws I've ever seen anybody ever make. And you just thought, I remember in that moment thinking, well, this guy's a freak. He's going to be a superstar.
I legitimately, he was a decade too early. and what college football is now.
Well,
I
also,
remember.
I don't know that he had an undying love
Maybe,
of football,
but
my friend.
maybe it's hard to have an undying love when you're being coached by Jeff Bowden and Daryl Dickey. Like, you're not getting great coaching. But that's not to excuse that the fact that he wasn't maybe the hardest worker. But I remember when he won the starting job one of those years, and he ran a zone read, and he ran it perfectly. He pulled it, the defensive end crashed. He ran about 3 yards. The linebacker and safety came up to him, and he slid for a 3.5-yard gain. And I don't know if he was under orders to do that. I can't imagine he did that on it, but maybe he did. But it's like, if he'd have been coached like Tebow, anybody, like, hey man, you're 6'5", 240.
You're a big dude.
Run these dudes over. Like you
run around them, run them over.
Part of your job, part of your deal is to be able to run too and get first downs. And when he slid, I think it was the 30-0 game actually. When he slid in the first quarter of that game after reading it perfectly,
you're like, oh, this isn't going to go well.
This can't work. This can't work. Riley Skinner wouldn't have slid right there, and he's 70 pounds lighter than you.
Chicken or the egg question from Don't Know Me. Yes, I think that's right.
You don't know me.
You don't know. Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
Sorry. I just do terrible with these things on the Twitter. The Twitter
well, that's
handles.
the Twitter things, man.
The problem is I'm looking at the other name, and then I'm trying to get.
That's the problem with Twitter. On Facebook, I know Gator Kirk probably not.
Chicken
a
or the egg
name.
question: which one will happen first for the football team? We win more games, or will we get more top tier recruits? Thanks, always, as always, fellas. I think you got to win more games. I think that it starts this year. You got to win more games, and then maybe you can start here or there picking off a guy or two that are in that upper echelon of the talent pool you're talking about.
This past class was your last chance to get big time recruits without having wins.
Yeah, now you got to win.
Unless the NIL money comes out of heaven, because you still could sell hope at this point. If you're not winning games this season, it's gonna be hard to sell a lot of hope.
So this guy, Central Florida Nole fan, asks a question that we've entertained all of us as fans numerous times, and he had a follow-up with it that I want to talk about for a second. He writes, in your opinion, which non-rival school has the worst and best fans? All right, so best fans, I'm going to tell you Oklahoma or Nebraska.
Everybody says Nebraska.
Both are great. I've been to both stadiums more than once. I've attended games there multiple times.
Yeah.
Their fans, both Nebraska and Oklahoma, are.
They've still been selling out that place for.
Oh well, there's nothing else to do, Corey. But
sure,
yes,
but still,
yeah. But I will tell you, they're great fans.
Yeah,
and so are the OU people, and it's just awesome fans. Now, worst fans that are non-rivals is kind of difficult to answer because obviously as Noles, we're going to say either Miami or Florida, but you can't do that.
And also, how do you define worst? Because like when you're at the stadium. I didn't feel like Notre Dame's fans were terrible.
I did,
but I was in the press box.
Oh, so I was in the stands, and I encountered a-holes, the lot of them.
So my point was, I was impressed when they got drubbed.
You picked the a-hole section of the stadium.
Nothing but, buddy, nothing but.
In 2003, when FSU went up there and just destroyed them, Crefonso Thorpe just caught another touchdown pass.
All whites, by the way, looking sharp.
That was beautiful.
Those were the best uniforms.
At that day, I was impressed that their fans stayed till the end.
Yeah,
I was like, that's impressive, man. That's a good.
They're
fan
always
base.
saying, "Welcome to Notre Dame." And the on the campus, welcome to Notre Dame. I hope you enjoy your time.
But
I didn't get that.
Yeah, but personal interactions, have I've heard a lot of horror stories.
Oh yeah, my personal interactions were terrible, and I'm usually I think I'm a pretty reasonable fan because I loathe, and this is the second part of what he wrote. For what it's worth, he says, I think Texas A&M is the worst. No opinion on the best because I believe most college football fans suck, is what he said.
Sure.
I think he's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
fans in general.
Fans generally suck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disappointing to look around at your fellow man in a collective because most of the time when you get large groups of people, they always suck.
Yeah.
Individuals are great.
The problem is
individuals are awesome.
Out of 100 people, there might be
5 that suck.
But they're always the loudest.
Yes,
and the ones you remember, they stick out. Yeah.
When I was growing up selling Cokes at the Orange Bowl, and the stuff I saw, it was unbelievable.
It made you disappointed in human beings.
The stuff you see now on YouTube, the fights. Like I would see them every week as like a 13, 14-year-old
But you just
kid.
reminded me of what you don't do. Don't step to a dude who likes to fight with your hands down around your waist like we did.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just don't step to people.
But if you do, don't do it with your hands down here because my man will punch your ticket. Worst fans. I can't really answer because I agree with the second part of what he wrote.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Harvard. Never been to a game. Don't even know how many fans they get at the games. But I'm gonna guess that Harvard fans are obnoxious,
brutal.
And
I'll tell you what,
I don't
man.
know that they're obnoxious.
I mean, they are
judgmental.
people you would not want to hang out
Here's
with. I think.
What's interesting to me is like, what's your perception of like? I think a lot of Americans' perceptions of the British is that they're a little bit classier sometimes.
Oh, not the hooliganism that goes on over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this, you see
the accents.
The dude run the pitch the other day and started swinging on dudes.
You can say the field on this show.
It's okay to say
You don't
pitch,
have to
though. I
say
like
pitch.
that Ira says
I'm trying, just trying.
He's
just
right.
trying.
He's right.
How about that? That would never happen.
What?
I mean, like some dude run out onto the field and just start swinging at people.
Oh,
like we
well,
have streakers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't remember somebody going out and just starting trying
Well,
to punch
look,
people.
yeah, it's every
Again,
every
collective
country,
groups of
yeah.
people, shaky and sorry. All right, here we go. Joey writes, guys, I learned to hate Stephen Ross the afternoon my Dolphins held a Tim Tebow day for a game against the Jets in Miami. Yep, he had a special game honoring our bitter rivals quarterback.
Wow.
What moment or decision made you wish death upon your owner? Well, this will go back to Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who ostracized Doug Williams and also guaranteed that we couldn't draft Bo Jackson because he made a racist comment to him in an interview in which Bo said, I'll never play in Tampa Bay. So Hugh Culverhouse frequently gave Buccaneer fans of my childhood lots of reasons to wish him dead.
Who'd y'all draft? Oh, y'all did draft Bo, right? And he just didn't play for
Never
you.
going to play.
Yeah, but he was drafted by you guys, right? I wonder who you could have gotten with the second or third pick of that draft.
Yeah, in fact, because for sure they definitely.
And then he's like, I'm going to go play baseball.
Yeah.
And he was in the major leagues, I think, 8 weeks later. I mean, who knows with that guy? How about our lives? I was thinking about this the other day, and I'll let you get back to that, Ira. In the 80s, not only did we have Dion and Bo, like it wasn't even that big a story. I mean, I know they did commercials out of it, but we got used to seeing those guys play 2 professional sports at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
And there was a really good major league pitcher with one arm. Like just the stuff that happened in the 80s, it's like, man, it was nuts how we grew up.
It was the 86 draft for Bo Jackson, and the Bucs had the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
They took Bo Jackson, even though he had stated on numerous occasions that he would never play for the Bucs, and he even alluded to the interaction that he had with Hugh Culverhouse as to the reason why. And then, of course, he didn't, and he ended up going to play for the Royals, and he was phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were looking up who the second pick in the draft
Oh, do you want me to do that? I
Well,
can do
just
that during the break. We
was-
actually are about to take a break,
Okay.
so I can easily do that. I am kind of curious.
Well, let
but
Ira
was there
answer.
any? It was yeah.
I'm Peter Angelos, but there was not like one specific moment. It's
Orioles?
just been 20
Yeah.
years of ruining the
My dad
franchise.
hated, he doesn't own the team anymore, but Rankin Smith, when he owned the Falcons, just kept hiring Marion Campbell. And my dad could not. He's like, Marion Campbell had the worst NFL winning percentage of all time. He had been fired twice, and then he hired him again for a third time.
Was he a Swamp Fox or something like that? Is that
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is?
yeah. He's a good defensive coordinator, Ira. Don't get it wrong, but he was a terrible head coach.
Let's go down memory lane before the break, even though I'm getting yelled at. So the second pick in that draft was the Atlanta Falcons, Tony Casillas.
You didn't miss
defensive
much.
tackle, yeah.
You didn't miss much.
Jim Everett was taken 3rd overall.
Well, then you would have gotten Testaverde the next year.
Yeah, what a get. And then he had
whose interception records would Jameis have broken then?
some of the names of draft from those years that we can have some fun. Well, there's some big names. We'll revisit it later on, but yeah, kind of some fun. I love doing this, by the way. You want to talk about rabbit holes? Go year to year with the NFL draft. Like go 1980 to now, and just go year to year, and you'll be surprised. Like half the time, oh my God, my boy went in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, that's the thing, and everybody likes to make fun of recruiting rankings being wrong years later when they look at. Look at draft picks.
Yeah,
I mean it's a crapshoot.
There'll be
really a
there'll
crapshoot
be
when it comes to
18
quarterbacks.
picks in a row where you're like, who is this dude? Did this dude even play in the league in the first round?
Remember Vesti Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude was it was the last pick in the 2nd round. It's a good player.
Great name.
Seminole Headlines. 93.3 Real Talk
value.
Radio.
Good value right there.
Warchant TV.
Local news now.
Strozier Library's former head of security, Todd Anthony Peak, is facing charges in the theft of thousands of comic books and literature from Florida State University's Strozier Library. The comics were reported stolen in September of 2021. His charges include grand theft of more than $100,000, fraud, dealing in stolen property, and sale of stolen property via the internet. Peak had one of the 4 keys that allowed entry into the area where these comic books were located within the sub-basement of Strozier Library. Of the 5,000 comic books stolen, roughly 2,843 have been recovered
covered at this time. A resident of Wakulla County was injured in a single vehicle accident around 3 Monday afternoon. A 19-year-old man of Sopchoppy was driving westbound on Smith Creek Road. The driver lost control of an SUV. It exited the road, struck a tree, and overturned onto its roof. The driver was transported to Tallahassee Memorial Hospital with serious injuries. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Highs level off around 57 this afternoon. Under cloudy skies, winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows around 36. Bright sunshine expected again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 63. Upper 60s Thursday and Friday. To recap, high of 57 this afternoon. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 52.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on the floor. With the hot dogs that they were making, we are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
Think there was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Badass Tom Rathman went in the third round of that draft, everybody. And Pat Swilling, the linebacker, went in the third round. Third round was all the value right there. That was a good draft. You can bet what I'm doing after this show. 86 draft, buddy.
Yeah.
We're deep diving.
Deep dive on that thing. Do a video on it.
All right, more questions. Okay, I cannot do this. Why do we keep getting asked about Destin Hill? Is this now just a running joke?
Probably. I think part of it is.
It has to be, right? He's not a real person.
We know that. That's been established. He's not a real person.
Not a real person.
He's Kaiser Sose.
Maybe this fall.
Yeah.
Hold your breath.
So Sam wants to know, this question is directly for Sweet Pea. I've been patiently waiting for weeks and still no new name for the newly assembled running back lineup. Dos tres?
Yeah, we don't. We got it. I still think there's somebody. You think they're done in the portal with running backs? You think they're done?
Probably, I think so.
Okay, I'll get in the lab and I'll figure something out. I thought Sean Gahn was exceptional last year.
It was a lot better than the previous year.
It was met with mixed results. What was the one? What was that?
Flock of seagulls or whatever it was.
The web toes.
Yeah, that was awful.
No, those were both great.
No, you've really been slipping lately in your older age.
I mean, I think both of those are exceptional,
I'll
find another one.
Point.
I'll find another one for this year.
All right. Mark writes, with the current state of the men's basketball team being what it is, should we get Register Sausage to go with a promo code of pity until we win a game? Also, what needs to happen for the men's basketball team to win a game and make the NIT? Yeah, it's tough times, guys. It is. It hurts.
Pitt's coming to town, though. They're the favorite against Pitt.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Might get a win.
On a Balls McWednesday.
Yeah, late night.
9 o'clock tip. Going to get loose.
9
TLC
p.m.
C, buddy.
For Pitt FSU.
All right. Feels to me like Norvell is the guy before the guy. Oh, here we go. This is from Chris. Much needed in terms of getting us back on our feet. But the next guy is when we'll get back to running things. Well, could be an important year for Mike to try to prove he's not the guy that's going to lead the guy, but rather he's the guy.
The guy. Yeah.
You would definitely rather take over the program today than 3 years ago or 5 years ago. But he's still got a chance, man. Give the guy a chance. Give him a chance.
Yeah, just give him a chance. Come on, guys.
Josh wants to know, can we get some audio of Jimbo saying sliced bread that just reappears on the show over and over again? I'd like that.
Yeah, get Tom Lane can do that in 20 seconds. Come on, T. Lang.
Yeah, I like it. With all the waiting, watching, and hand-wringing this week over how and when the Florida legislative session will revise its NIL legislation, what the hell are we doing? Why are we waiting around? There's no sheriff in town, guys. Has anyone set up the Roids for Atkins Boys GoFundMe yet? I'm all in on the cheating. Yes, and that is Sir Stuart
That's
Wall.
not even cheat. Well, I guess the steroids would be, but the NIL isn't even cheating. Just set it up. Just pay. Get the best lineman in the country.
Need the money. Need the money.
But yeah, it is a bit of a bummer that apparently it's going to be. Is it being stonewalled by the legislature here? I mean,
I think it'll get resolved. We'll see. I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll get resolved.
All right. Brandon writes, it took a while, but it seems Miami has made a good OC and DC hire. Oh, I beg to differ. I'm not sure they did. FSU has made some off-field additions that look strong, but do you think Norvell will regret not upgrading the on-field staff when he had the chance to do so? There's a lot of community on a staff with 2 bad seasons, or a lot of continuity on a staff with 2 bad seasons.
I think it's a fair point.
I think that is a fair point. I think it's one that we've all kicked around a little bit, and certainly I've said publicly as well that I think there have been some mistakes made. But I also don't know who they went after and were told no by, or who they had a legitimate chance to get or pry away.
Well, I mean, the Tokars one I think was going to have. That's been predetermined.
I also like that hire,
and so that was. People are like, oh, he just went to his analyst or whatever. Well, the reason the guy came here from an on-the-field job at Memphis was to be in line for this job when it came open.
And so that's well thought of in most coaching circles.
I don't have a problem with Randy Shannon. I think it's. I mean, I know you're not a huge fan. I think he's fine. I don't think you need a whole lot more than that at the linebacker coach. The wide receiver position is the one where you feel like. I mean, and I think Alex Atkins. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with what Alex Atkins does with Mike Norvell.
Love Alex
coordinating the offense.
Agree with that.
To me, the one that feels like the biggest whiff is that they didn't make a change at wide receiver, and they didn't make a change at wide receiver. We'll just have to see how.
I mean, though, if you take a 30,000-foot view of it, Florida State's 2 coordinators, which are very important positions. The offensive coordinator's last job was at Charlotte, and the defensive coordinator's last position was at Marshall. And before that was at a bunch of small schools. So I can understand people being like, and I'm not saying they're right or wrong, just putting that out there. I can see people, even with what Atkins did with the offensive line, and we all think he's a good coach and you want to keep him.
I wanted to keep him.
People
desperately.
like, all right, man, is this the best Florida State can do? Is you go tap the likes of UNC Charlotte and Marshall for your OC and DC? That's not what Miami just did. Miami just got the DC from Auburn.
Yeah, well, we also have to see how it works out.
Right. No, I'm saying, but in February, that people might be a little, there might be a little trepidation there. By the way, a little update on Brady. Got an email from his language arts teacher saying,
the phone's been taken?
No, I looked up in the middle. They were having a test. In the middle of a test, they take the test on the computer. She looks up and she sees that Brady's on ESPN's front page. And she's like, well, that's weird. He couldn't already be done with that test. We've only been doing it for 20 minutes. And no, he wasn't. He had taken a break from the test to check for trades on ESPN.
See, here's the thing. When he's on around the horn in 20 years or 10 years or 5, whenever it is, or he's like on Stephen A. Smith's show, debating with Stephen A. Smith, this is going to be a great anecdote.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we could run this back. But yeah, we're not real fired up. He just got a very angry text from his dad during the break about, at least be smart enough to not get caught.
I was going to say, I mean, this is less about checking the trades and more about getting caught.
And he even said, I only was on there for a few minutes. I only had a few questions.
Apparently, in those few minutes, they caught you.
He goes, I don't even know how she caught me. I'm like, man, because you're you, buddy. You're not as sly as you think.
Man, we were lucky to not have phones in school when we were in school.
Yeah, and
passing notes was about.
I'm gonna guess the rules are that you can't pull them out in class.
Man, it's kind of wild.
My son's schools, they that's it. They'll take them. They took Clark's phone the other day. His phone got taken.
I don't think he had his phone out at that time. I think the problem was the only reason he knew about the trade was because instead of finishing his test, he decided to go to ESPN.com for a few minutes and then texted me after the class. So that was a good email to just get.
Knox Noel wants to know why I don't interview the head coach on Mondays anymore. Well, I'm open to it. This got convoluted. I did, and it's not Mike Norvell's fault. I want to point that out. He didn't do anything wrong. obviously for years, going back to Jimbo Fisher and then later on with Coach Taggart. I had them on, interviewed them every Monday. Actually, I did those interviews on Sundays. When ESPN basically, a couple of things. When ESPN shut down, but also a contract was signed. Florida State football is on a rival network. So there's they want, contractually, they want their guys to be the only ones who can interview the coach. And so this became a big to-do because the coach wanted to interview with me, as most reasonable people who know anything about sports would want to do. They want to talk to me as opposed to the other station.
I thought that would have been a part of his contract when he came over from Memphis.
But to his credit, he basically said, look, I'm not going to go on a non-sports station, and I'm not going to – if I can't do it with Jeff, then I'm not going to do it. So that's how that worked.
All right, well, let's get back in there this year. Well, especially when they're 7-0, you're gonna be wanting to talk to them on Monday.
That's up to those folks at the other place. All right, so I think most of the Twitters. Let's see. Would FSU consider Brian Flores for a head coaching position if the Noles don't make a bowl game this year? I think that'd be awesome, but I think he wants to coach in the NFL.
That ship might have sailed though.
Well, we'll see.
He looks like he was pretty darn good with the Dolphins.
Very good coach.
Yeah.
Yes. On to baseball, gentlemen. Jeff, when you talk to me to ask him what happened to the Pensacola games. Oh, that's what I was bringing up earlier. Okay, there you go, Sean. Me and the crew were gearing up for it out here. I think a lot of people in Pensacola were, Corey, when you and I were speaking to the Seminole Club there in Pensacola before the start of last football season, where we met so many nice people, a lot of them were bringing up this baseball series. And it is about time that we all interview Meat here again real soon. I'm going to have him on. I do the 1 hour special every year. So we will ask him. I'll find out if it's still in the coffers or not. I mean, I definitely want it to happen.
What are we doing? What are we doing, man? Let's go. Pensacola, that'd be a fun trip. I might actually do that, Ira. 3-game trip. What's 3-game set with the LSU baseball team in Pensacola?
You're not allowed to go to Biloxi while you're there, though.
No, I don't need to if I'm in Pensacola. I know bookies over there.
A lot of people are asking about baseball. I went back over to the Facebook questions now. Baseball season right around the corner. What are your expectations for this team? Right, Zach? They're very high. Very high from what I hear, what I read, the people I've talked to. I mean, they've got arms for days that they're excited about.
Including 2 elite ones.
Elite.
Start the rotation.
That's correct. So 2 elite arms and some others that may blossom into high draft picks because of their velo.
That's short for velocity.
High velo.
Which is weird because the word isn't velocity.
No.
It's velocity. So why is velo?
High velo, Corey. They got it.
Baseball
high
coaches,
velo.
man.
Yeah, they just They're like, I'm gonna pronounce it.
They got the high velo. Anyhow, and then we hear they're able to put bat to ball this year.
That'd be
certainly can't do worse than they did a year ago in terms of not putting bat to ball. So
right.
I'd like to believe that that's
maybe more watchable, maybe a little bit more watchable product.
Yeah. So I'm very excited as well. And I think we're done here, guys. We have 1 minute left. We can just kind of shoot the breeze here. We got to everybody. We did a good job.
Okay.
I thought
you
I
got
was
to all the
particularly
Facebook
strong.
questions.
Yeah, I'm back on them. I went back. You go to war for Facebook, doesn't he?
It's odd. It's odd. The whole thing is like it's always me. I'm the one that's carried this segment for the better part of a decade now. And Ira's
fun
the one
to
that
say better part of a decade. Isn't it?
You wring your hands more about it than anyone.
Just want to make sure the people are. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah, I know you are.
That's how I'm going to be when we open our restaurant.
Right.
Like you're going to be trying to overcharge.
He's going to be screaming at the people behind the bar.
I'm not screaming at anybody. We're
the
yucking
darkness
it up.
is bubbling
the
up.
The problem you're going to see with me as the bartender is that like around 9 p.m. when the games are going on and stuff, you're going to pull me aside and be like, I told you. You cannot be blitzed with all the Patriots.
Yeah, and you've ignored him for 30 minutes.
You've been laughing with this guy Ted over here about the game while you're pounding beers. He wants beer. We're here to serve the people.
Yeah.
That's the kind of conversation. It wouldn't be because I was being mean.
And we'd be on the strip, right? We'd be on Tennessee.
No.
Oh, no, we're going to be out with the adults?
Oh, we got to be out, North Side or something that we can't
I might be out then.
You don't want to be on the strip. Are you crazy?
I know, and they would never they don't tip, right? That's what I hear about college kids. They don't tip.
Broke.
Yeah, they're broke.
They suck. They're loud and
looking
obnoxious.
For dollar beers.
Nobody got time for that.
You're right.
The problem is CP would go out of business if you weren't going there anymore.
Well,
Horizons would go out of business if you weren't ordering food from there anymore.
Yeah, boy, I was at Horizons over the weekend.
So, I
ordered up a hearty plate, guys.
Daddy might be there this week. If anybody wants to come out.
Let me know. Give me a text. Good job, Director Matthew. Good job, Corey and Ira. Good job, me. Thanks, everybody. Be well.